this year in recruiting is about as wild a year as I've seen, with kids jumping around, decommitting, recommitting, some schools dropping kids moving on. Recruiting's getting crazier and crazier, but today was pretty calm for us. I think we addressed some real needs on the team with this class. There's not one kid on this class that I'm not excited about signing. We know each one of these kids really well. We had some deficiencies on our roster, whether it was depth or talent at certain spots, that we needed to address. And I think between last year's recruiting class and this year's recruiting class, we've addressed almost all of them. I want to get to a program where we don't feel like we have any real needs, that we can just take the best available players. And I think this recruiting class has really filled some holes and gaps in our roster that we needed to fill. And I think every year that we get another recruiting class in here and get a chance to work with them, this program is going to keep getting better. I think we were able to get a better caliber of player interested in us this year because of the momentum of this program. Holding on to them wasn't always easy, but there was a lot more interest in us. We ended up signing some kids that had offers and chances to go to a lot of places that you might not expect UCF to win. So I think there's a lot of kids that are recognizing what we're trying to accomplish and all the things that UCF has to offer. You know, this recruiting cycle, having a longer time to recruit, I told you we had a chance to get a better caliber of player interested in us. That's good and bad. I think we signed some players that are really good players, and some players that some Power 5 schools were interested in and trying to get, and they decided to come to UCF. We don't care if that kid is a 4-star or a 1-star. We watched his tape and evaluated him and like what he does. It kind of gives me a sense of pride when we find those type of kids. You know, the recruiting rankings, I'm sure there's some people that know what they're doing, and there's some rankings from people that might not be able to recognize talent as well. But listen, everybody has their own opinion. If it was easy to look at 100 kids' tape and tell which guy was the best, then there wouldn't be any kids getting drafted from 1AA schools. But people miss on kids all the time. Kids surprise other kids. Some kids develop better when they get to college, and it's a real art to being able to see a kid and evaluate him accurately. And nobody hits 100% of the time, but I feel good about our coaches watching people's tape and evaluating them. So if they're not willing to compete for a job on our team, then they're not the kind of guys that are going to compete to win on the field. There's going to be plenty of reps to go around, as many reps as we give guys in spring and in fall. There's going to be plenty of reps in games for multiple people at every position. And I want our team to be a band of brothers, but I also want it to be the type of brotherly relationship where you're competing and scratching and clawing against each other all the time, and then hugging each other after. And I think we're intentionally recruiting really competitive people that love the game of football, and those kind of guys are going to band together, and there's going to be a lot of people that get an opportunity to play.